And continuing coverage of the oil disaster in the Gulf, day 60 now. And there are new reports detailing a major business connection between BP and Iran. This as Western nations, including the United States, are cutting back business ties with Iran over its nuclear program. Time magazine's reporting online and in cover that BP remains one of the most active Western oil giants engaged in energy project with Iran. Joining us now is Massimo Calabresi. He's a Washington correspondent for Time magazine. Sir, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
It's not as if anything they're doing is against the rules or even on any level untoward, though, is it?
Well, the first thing to understand is that Iran has a lot of oil and gas, but it doesn't have a lot of technological know-how. The U.S. has been trying to limit the kinds of technological access they can get from Western companies, and BP is involved in a couple of projects that some officials in the U.S. are worried might result in some of the technological transfers. But as far as we can tell, there's no violation of the rules, or certainly no U.S. laws being violated.
A number of projects, of different kinds of projects, right?
Yeah. They've got a joint venture at one of the world's largest gas fields in Azerbaijan, where BP operates the field, and an Iranian company called Naft Iran has a 10% stake in the profits. And there's a 50-50 joint venture with a company that's just been listed by the Treasury Department as a kind of PNG company, a company which Americans can't do business with. They have a 50-50 joint venture with BP in the North Sea.
You can trace BP, its origins, back to Iran, really.
It started there. It was the British Persian oil company back in the early 20th century, became the the Anglo-Iranian oil company. And so they have a lot of history, a lot of ties to Iran, and they've always tried to keep a foot in through good times and bad in Iran.
What are the main concerns on behalf of not just the United States but Western nations in general regarding these links?
Well, there's a couple of things. The company that, the Iranian company that's doing business with BP here is directly controlled by the government of Iran, according to the U.S. Treasury. And it's listed, this company and several of its subsidiaries, as companies that it doesn't want the West to do business with because, one, it enriches the country generally in ways that the U.S. wants to restrict. There's a potential for transfer of technologies that can help Iran further enrich itself. And there's a general effort to create sort of symbolic pressure to get the West to isolate Iran because of its nuclear program. So in general, these kinds of open, profitable relationships with Iran and especially the Iranian Ministry of Petroleum are things that the U.S. and now Western Europe as well are trying to restrict.
The article is a good one at time.com. Massimo Calabresi is the Washington correspondent for the magazine. You can see that at time.com or at your magazine stand. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right.